When Raw goes off, I say thank fucking God. I don't even know what the fuck I just wasted 3 hours of my life on. I am the OG Fit Kid, Thomas Montalto.
And I am the Macho Man J-Bone. And Tom, I got 2 words for you. Who's next?
Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? Like, I don't know what's worse. The fact, how do you blame Vince McMahon at this point for bringing him back when the asshole fans fucking cheer him like they did tonight? Why do you even want to see this guy at this point who gets blown up in the ring after 2 minutes? He's not good now. Newsflash, he's never been fucking good. He's never been a wrestler. He sucks. He's an overrated piece of crap. He's never been good.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
Never. He can never cut a fucking promo. He's been 3 moves. They piped in Goldberg chants. Somehow it got over. And here we are 20 fucking years later, and we're still putting up with seeing his sorry ass in the ring.
What does he have left to prove? Like, honestly.
And then before that, they bring back Keith Lee, who's a young, exciting guy who could do great shit in the ring, and they bury him. They fucking bury Keith Lee, who's been gone for 7 months. You could tell when Keith Lee walked out, he was not happy.
Yeah.
He had no enthusiasm. He coming down to the ring.
Right. I agree. Yeah. Yeah. You're absolutely right.
They just buried him. They just buried this guy. Wow. That was a good Raw. You must have watched a different show.
You must have watched from 1997.
I mean, I agree with this, but let me know what you thought was good about that show, because I didn't see anything. I was waiting for tonight's show. I wanted to see the fans back. A few weeks ago, they started to get on a little roll. The shows were getting better. And then the last 3 weeks was sucky. And then tonight, why am I even watching anymore?
I don't know. It's here's the thing. Okay, I'm cool with Cena coming back. That's fine.
Yes.
I don't understand why you opened up Raw. I mean, I do. It's basically to say, look, get the fans. Okay, you can have one of the biggest names in the business, John Cena, but why do that promo? That accomplished nothing except to say that Roman Reigns is an asshole. Okay, to get the edgy promo going, right?
They just did it for a ratings pop tonight.
Right.
That's the only reason why they brought him on tonight.
I'm cool with Cena being back. Don't get me wrong.
Me too. I have 0 issues with that.
Yeah, that's fine. But he's not going to be. Roman Reigns is not on Raw. What's the point? What is the point? It's stupid. They need to open the show with a match. That's what's the winning formula right now. The winning formula is NXT does it. AEW does it. That's what gets the crowd going. I mean, it's SmackDown exciting to watch.
On Friday.
Yes, correct.
But, you don't even have to open the show with a match if you have a great promo and it's something people are waiting to see.
Right.
But, and I didn't even mind Cena opening it tonight. But listen, you want to say you have a brand split, but then you have the guy who's going to SmackDown come out on Raw just for the ratings. There's no fucking brand split with this fucking WWE. Right. There's none. Right. There's 0.
It was abysmal. I mean, the title change, I think we can kind of get that. That may have somewhat saved the show, but
there's the highlight of the show right there. Jeff Hardy has his own theme back. If that's what your take. I mean, yes, that's good, but if that's the takeaway, what's good of this show, that's terrible.
You could go on the network and watch that. Go back to 2008, 2009. Honestly,
I do like the theme better, but I'm trying to. And let's talk about Jeff Hardy.
You buried Karrion Kross.
Right, you bring your NXT champion on. Like, first of all, I'm thinking, okay, here's Karrion Kross. They ruined the intro. There's no Scarlett. What?
Yeah,
this is Vince.
Yep.
This is Vince's idea here. Vince gets it in his head. This doesn't work. Meanwhile, it worked on the Indies. It's working on NXT, but Vince thinks he knows better. You're an out-of-touch old man, Vince. You've given everything you can to the WWE and to the wrestling world. Do us a favor, give back, and walk away. Walk away, please.
It's
because you have Jeff Hardy coming out, and I'm upset Jeff Hardy's coming out because I hate seeing him be buried since he came back from being injured and everything. Jeff Hardy's got a lot to give. And I'm like, oh, great. He's going to get buried to Karrion Kross. And then you have the NXT champion lose to him in a 5-minute match. It makes no sense. Like, who's booking this? Who thinks this is good?
You know what it feels
how is this a good idea?
It feels like you the storyline you have in the 2K games and the WWE 2K games. They do that where they're like, you build up your quote unquote build up your star. You start off as a rookie and then you move up and it's like, okay, you get it to the main roster and you lose your first match. It's like I felt like I was watching that. It was terrible.
You try to convince us that this is a third brand. And then you have your champion of the third brand lose his first night on possibly what you call the flagship show. How do you do that? How do you do that? This guy's been dominating NXT, and he comes up and he loses his first match on Raw. How do you build a young guy like that?
And how do you even bring him up while he's still champion? How you're talking about these brand splits, right? Why is the NXT champion a member of the Raw roster now? Shouldn't he lose that title? Shouldn't he have to forfeit it? Shouldn't he? Whatever. You want to do these brand splits. It makes zero sense.
I mean, I have less of a problem with that. I don't mind it if it's kind of cool to see a champion from another show up on your show. But when it's done this way, it's so stupid. Like it just didn't make any sense at all. Like, and then you have him lose. Like have this. Like everything they've worked for in NXT, as they continuously do, Vince ruins it as soon as it gets to the main. And we're not even supposed to think, oh, they say it's a third brand. It's not a promotional brand anymore. Bullshit. All it is feeding people to both shows. Yeah. Every once in a blue moon, you send Finn Balor back or you send Mandy Rose back. What are you doing? Ember Moon is back there because you didn't know how to use her up here.
Yeah, Mandy Rose is there. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely, and I was thinking when Karrion Kross was coming out, as he was coming out, I was thinking to myself, like, well, do you think, why would he want to be here? Like, when there's so many better opportunities in the Indies, and I'm not just talking about AEW or whatever. I'm just talking about MLW, NWA, Impact.
Because
why is he
honest,
here?
He's not going to make the money that he's going to make in WWE in any of those places. I mean, if I'm a person who's trying to pay bills and make a living for myself, I'd rather come here and make the money, I guess, and then hopefully I could leave and go to AEW or any of those places.
Yeah, but the way they're building their star, they're not building stars. You had Keith Lee totally ruined. Okay, you had.
How do you bury a returning Keith Lee when there's been nothing but buzz since he's left about when he's coming back and the fans want to see him? I would much rather see Keith Lee fight Lashley at SummerSlam than Goldberg. And what this stupid thing they have in their head that Lashley just needs to bury their former champion in Kofi, and not even like it would have been a much better match. You get more respect for your champion like Kenny Omega, who's defending his title, putting on great matches, but he's not dominating the people. He's on a dominating run, but they're fun matches because he's selling.
Yeah,
this is bullshit. Yeah, Kofi could have put on a great match with him if they let Kofi do his thing. Kofi is a great worker, but instead they make it a total shit show. Tonight you bury Keith Lee. What are you doing? Why? Well, you imagine a pop if he would have went over tonight and then he gets his rematch at SummerSlam for the belt.
Right. Yeah. And usually I'm one to say, okay, be patient, but patience is only getting us so far. We had such a shitty time in this pandemic era, and where it was terrible. Thunderdome. All right, just be patient. Fans come back. It's going to get better. Honestly, this whole weekend was, I would say, disappointing overall. It's just I thought the main event last night was good. The men's Money in the Bank match was good. The storyline there, they actually, Charlotte and Rhea actually salvaged the storyline. They had a good
great match last night. I agree. I liked it.
And it was going good tonight, but then they have this crappy disqualification, and then have Nikki Ash, already cash in. I don't know. I'm just confused, honestly. I really am. This is the most confused I've ever been. I I'm kind of speechless in some ways.
I've sat here week after week after week and hopeful that they're going to fix themselves. I'm all out of hope. I just don't even care anymore. They've ruined it. Like,
Yeah.
how are they even going to salvage it at this point? They can't. The show sucks. It's 3 hours of garbage. Look, I took tons of notes tonight. Tons of notes about the show as I'm watching the show. Let me go through my notes list real quick. Okay, here it is. Here they are. Look, a lot of notes. Look, John Cena's back. That's the first note.
Mm-hmm.
Great promo. He's going back. And then Riddle comes out, and that's kind of cool to see him give the rub to Riddle.
Right.
And then they have the little bro off.
Right. It is what it is.
And then what's the next thing we're fed? Riddle and the Viking Raiders versus AJ, Omos, and Morrison. Okay, repeat. That's a repeat. That sucked. That sucked. I'm sorry, talented workers, but again, we've seen it so many times over the last few weeks. Okay. And how do you end that match? Riddle squirts Omos with the fucking drip stick. And Omos comes like, what is this? Who's booking this shit? Who wants to watch? Who could sit there and think this is good? Is it Vince and they just have to say yes so they get their checks at the end of the week?
I don't know.
And then then we have to see fucking Elias versus Jackson Riker again.
Yeah,
we have to see that again. We have seen it every week for the past.
I know that match was actually pretty decent, but
it was a pretty decent match.
I was thinking the same. Like, I was like, oh my god, not again! Why?
We got to see some color.
Yeah. It was decent.
But and then that close up on Jackson Ryder at the end before they went to commercial. At first, I'm like, oh my god, Zack Ryder's back, and I'm like, oh no, wait, that's Jackson Ryder.
It wasn't good.
No, and then you see Mustafa Ali and Mansoor. They're going to be teaming next week. I guess somebody cares about that. I don't know.
I don't know. Who?
Oh, the best line of the night. Oh, we didn't see Becky tonight, but Charlotte saying, "Oh, Becky's home breastfeeding" when they're chanting for Becky.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about that for a second. Okay. You have the fans last night clamoring. Obviously, Charlotte. I mean, we saw pictures. We knew she was there. Like, what are they waiting for exactly? Are they waiting? They're going to want to do another title match with Charlotte and Nikki Ash next week, or do a 3-way or something, and then Becky comes out and challenges the winner of that. Like, we just wasted a match tonight. You wasted a Money in the Bank briefcase opportunity. You wasted a match. Like, why can't we just have this disqualification go on to next week? I would much rather that, to be honest with you.
I mean, I didn't even mind a Nikki Ash cashing it in at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, I was so taken out of the show at that point. I really didn't care.
All right.
To be honest, I just didn't care at this point.
Yeah.
We got to see more Natalya and Tamina crap, and with Shayna and Nia Jax. Like, okay, I don't even care about any of them anymore. Like, maybe it's finally over because Reggie's now the 24/7 champ. I don't care about the 24/7 championship. I just don't care. But at least he's away from them. Let him go running around with the rest of the goofballs in that picture.
Right. It's just bad. It's not good. What was next? What else we have?
So we got Sheamus versus Humberto Carrillo.
Oh God, it gets worse. I forgot. It keeps getting worse. Again, like I talked about last week. Okay, you squash Humberto. That would have been a good time to bring up a star. Make a star out of somebody, right? Instead to have
Damian Priest tonight. He doesn't even show up.
Yeah, it
looks like they're going to do a Sheamus and Damian Priest run, and he doesn't show up tonight. And you'd think those two big men, two good workers, they could have put on a hell of a match. And there's nothing set up continuing that. Of course not, because that would make more sense than anything else they've done.
Right. Squash Humberto and then move on, and then I don't know. I mean, you're gonna. It's like rinse and repeat here. It's ridiculous.
Here's my note about the fans popping for Goldberg. WWE has the dumbest fans ever. How are you popping for this guy?
I personally, I think what it is.
I agree with you, Mystical Saw. I agree with you. You're not wrong.
Yeah. I think probably what it is if they were going to bring Goldberg back, tonight was the best night to do it because you have fans that are just excited to be out of the house. So, freaking gobbledygooker could have walked through that stage and then probably
I would have
yes!
I would have rather seen Gobbledygooker. I would have rather seen anyone at this point.
Yeah. And I'm not saying I agree with it.
I would have rather seen Gilbert.
Yeah, it's not good. Now, as we were messaging when that came up, there is a possible silver lining that I see. Titan.
Anthony.
I hope he's
what
being
a
facetious.
fucking show. You mean about how bad it was? Wait, what are you going to tell me this was better than Dynamite 2?
Man, this was not good.
It was a terrible show. It was one of the worst Raws ever.
Yeah. But my silver lining is, and now I'm not too sure now that Nikki Ash has cashed in, what I was thinking was Goldberg goes on to defeat Bobby Lashley. And, yeah, we'll talk about that. Goldberg going to defeat Bobby Lashley, and Big E challenges or cashes in his Money in the Bank on Goldberg on SummerSlam. Then maybe you could start that New Day feud, possibly. I don't know. That's in my brain. That's how I would book it. But I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking. So what are we expecting of this? What are we supposed to expect out of this? You know, why is Goldberg getting this title opportunity? He lost to Drew. He hasn't been in WWE since January, and then he just pops up and nope, I want this title shot because my name's Goldberg and I deserve it. That's what we're doing. We're not doing title contentions or maybe even, hey, let's try out rankings like AEW does. That's kind of part of the reason why Adam Page is so over in AEW, because he wins and he deserves it. So
I don't want to sound like a WWE mark, but dude, this show was the most interesting Raw in so long. That's exactly what they needed. Not better than Dynamite though. Sorry, Anthony. If you want to come on here, I'll send you the link and you could tell us what you thought.
Yeah,
I thought this show was abysmal. I thought it was a joke. I thought it was horrible. I did not enjoy anything after the Cena promo about the show.
No.
I don't want to see Goldberg. You bury your NXT champion. Oh my God! What else? Oh, we have to see more of this Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal shit. How do you release Aleister Black and you keep Jinder Mahal? How do you release Buddy Murphy and you keep Jinder? Like, I don't like to see anybody get fired. I don't. But Jinder Mahal should have been way below 90% of the guys that were released that were more entertaining and than he is. And we have to see this terrible storyline with Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal. I don't care. I just don't.
Yeah, it's bad. It's not good. Nothing's good about this.
I can see that happening.
Yeah, that could happen. Yeah. But then again, like you're bearing your lead with Roman. Roman's your moneymaker. I don't see Roman losing.
Roman's not losing. I don't think Roman's losing for a long time. You know, after seeing what we're seeing with Lashley, I really wonder if what we talked about a while ago is if they're building up to a Lashley versus Roman match down the line to combine the titles. They kind of started teasing them fighting on Twitter a little bit already between Heyman and MVP, having some words back and forth in responses to posts and shit.
I don't think we'll see a title change till at least Survivor Series. We usually see
I wouldn't be shocked if you see. I mean, Roman's not losing. I think we'll see them feed Lashley to Roman to continue building.
Right.
Here.
It's just abysmal. It's Monday Night abysmal.
Yeah.
There's just no storyline. It's just duds all the way across. So.
What was I? Oh, here's my little note to the WWE office. Now that Karrion Kross is officially on the main roster, make sure you put that 90-day no compete clause in there. He might be released in 6 months.
Yeah, that might.
If he's going to be like this, he might be released. If he's going to be used like this,
or he might ask for his release.
Yeah, we
And
got to see an Alexis Playhouse.
That was great. That's great. And some fabulous acting by Eva Marie
and Dewdrop.
and Dewdrop. Yeah. Now Lily. Thank God Lily came back. She's got a timeout.
That was the return of the night.
That was not Becky Lynch. Lily. We needed Lily.
Come on and talk about it. I honestly, Anthony, I'll send you the link right now. I honestly want to know what you thought was entertaining about the show. I'll listen to your views. Convince me. I want to be convinced. I want to like it. I do. I do. I don't want to hate the show.
Yeah.
I mean, SmackDown is so much more enjoyable than it. All right. He's coming on. Let me send him the link.
All right.
Send him the link.
Surprise.
This is going to be fun.
Guest.
And I love Anthony. He's really good. So
Anthony's great. Yeah, for sure.
So let me send him the link right now. This is going to be good. Let him convince us.
So we put that picture up a little bit earlier. While you send that link, I'm going to talk here.
Yeah, go ahead.
And so a lot of people were kind of what I wanted to talk about. I sent you that picture. So let's talk about that picture. And it's just emotion coming out of Nikki Ash. I thought it was a good move to have Nikki as the Money in the Bank winner. Honestly, and I'm pretty sure, I don't know if I told you this off air or not, but I kind of thought Nikki would be the Raw favorite. So I wasn't too shocked that she ended up winning. I picked Liv, but to actually win it. But I was pretty happy that Nikki won because
I have no problems with Nikki winning. I have no problems with tonight.
Yeah.
It's more entertaining than seeing Charlotte and Rhea continuing to wrestle every week.
Well, I'll say this: Charlotte and Rhea, they kind of turned that around the last at least 2 weeks for me.
So, what do you want to talk about this photo?
So really want to just kind of show that emotion. I think that was a great picture right there.
Yeah, right.
Because it says a lot about the character. There he is. There's the man.
Hello.
Big Tony, what's up?
Big Tony, I fucking love that. How was Raw tonight, guys? How was Raw tonight?
Let me hear your view.
Was horse shit, okay?
All right. Look. Okay.
And I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna be.
All right, you're gonna give me the spotlight here. All right, here. No. So look, the way I look at it, okay, it wasn't the perfect show, okay. It wasn't great. It wasn't Fighter Fest, okay. It was a very interesting show. I think it's been the most interesting Raw that we've seen in like a while. It was entertaining. I'll give it that. It was, I look at it like the Cena promo. Great promo. He's always going to give a really great promo. The 6-man match. I thought it was a good match. We've seen it before, but see, I'm a Morrison fan. I
love Morrison.
Putting all those guys together, I think it was just, it matched well. Everything else up until the Bobby Lashley stuff, forgettable. I'll give you that. I don't remember anything that happened after that. Once we got to the Lashley stuff, okay, I understand that Keith Lee losing was not a great look in his return, but you can't have Lashley win dominantly against Kofi last night and then lose to Keith Lee. And Lee put up a good fight.
I would have been much happier if Lee just put a more competitive match on.
Right.
I think he put up, I think it was just a shorter match. If they went on for a little bit longer, which I think they will eventually, because this was technically non-title. So if they go longer in a rematch, then, thank you. You see, I have one supporter in the chat. If they go on for a longer match for the title, I think that'll make up for it. When they'll do it, I don't know. But, the Goldberg shit was awful. We don't have to talk about that. That was the one thing that I was like,
thank you.
Yeah. Tom, you already knew that I was not a Goldberg supporter. So we're good there. And then that leads to the Karrion Kross stuff. And it's okay, listen, I'm a Jeff Hardy fan. So I love Jeff Hardy. That was really the only reason why I was very excited, because I was coming in here thinking, okay, we're going to hear no more words. That's great. Whatever. then he fucking won. Like, I know it's not the best look, but I was talking to Jonah from Rewind, Recap, Relive, and he said that maybe they'll go in an angle where it's like, now that he doesn't have Scarlett, now maybe it makes him weaker, so he needs Scarlett, and he's going to bring her in eventually, and that's kind of like going to put him on like that winning path. You know, I kind of thought maybe that would be something, because not to have Scarlett with him is just weird. I think it's very weird. So they need to bring her back eventually.
Scarlett is the Karrion Kross package.
Exactly. It's the entrance and it's Scarlett.
She's the Sable. She's the Sable, and he's Mark Marrow.
Yeah. I mean, it sucks to say, but that's exactly right.
And by him losing tonight, you know, they didn't do him any favors. Now he's going to be pushed to the back of the line. He lost to Jeff Hardy. I'm a Jeff Hardy fan. I was a Jeff Hardy fan in 1999 when he arrived on the scene. Okay. You know, and guess what? 1999, they actually built him to become a star that he is today. It's just absurd that they bury a young talent that you have for a developmental league or whatever you want to call it, or system. You know, you let's go into real sports. All right, you go into real sports here. Okay, baseball, for instance. You bring up your AAA, you know, 3-hole hitter, right? You come in and he comes in and you're like, all right, expecting a lot of big things. You're not going to put him at the 9th spot in the order, right? You can't do that. You know, you got to see what the kid has. You know, maybe 5 spot, yeah. Okay, you're not going to put him in the 3, but you know, you're not going to put him at the end of the line. That's what they just did with Karrion Kross.
This is
for
what
me.
I don't get about
I look at it like, sure, like, you know, I'm going to look at it after. I'm still in the euphoria of just Jeff Hardy winning, so I'm very just happy right now. But I look at it, you know, you're looking at it in the future. Karrion Kross losing here was not the way that they should have went, and I'll admit that. But what I will say is that it makes the Karrion Kross versus Jeff Hardy feud, which obviously they're going in that direction, very interesting going forward, because they're not going to leave us here. Like, it's not going to be just Hardy wins and that's it. Like, this is Karrion Kross's way of coming into the main roster. Is it the way that everyone's expecting? No. And I think that it's okay to be open-minded to it. People were complaining about Jeff Hardy's booking for these last few months. Everyone was saying Jeff Hardy was losing. They were putting him in that story with Sheamus. Everyone was, you know, uprage when he was losing to like Morrison and Sheamus and all these guys. For me, you know, you can't say Jeff Hardy's losing, fuck this, and then come over here and say, well, now Jeff Hardy's winning, and you know, this is mind blowing. Sure, it was against Karrion Kross, but there needs to be a level of consistency here.
Okay, let me say my part on this and what bothers me about this, because I am a huge Jeff Hardy fan. I hated when he was losing, and I'm happy he got those wins over I can't even think of who it was. Right? Oh, Cedric Alexander.
Right.
Like, they started giving him a little push. Then I as much as anyone want to see Jeff Hardy get a push. I have no problem with Jeff Hardy winning. It's the booking of the whole thing that makes no sense.
Mm-hmm.
It just I want to see Jeff Hardy be pushed and go on a great run. But when you're calling up a guy who's dominating under the WWE umbrella and you have him lose in his first match, the booking just doesn't make any sense here. Like, and if the rest of the show is great, you could maybe say, oh, okay, maybe they're doing something here. But it just seems like nothing they're doing is making any sense.
And another thing too, and I know this is hardcore fans watch NXT, right? So those who are going to catch Monday Night Raw are going to be the casual fans. So that's another thing right there, right? You're bringing up your NXT champion, and he's just boom losing. You're like, so now your casual fans like, oh, this guy sucks, because I've been watching Raw the last couple of weeks, and this old man Jeff Hardy has been losing every week, and he can't even beat an old man. Like, oh, that sucks. Right. Second of all, as a hardcore fan, I watch NXT, and the promo that Adam Cole cut a couple weeks ago really resonated for me a lot. It really exposed Karrion Kross and peeled back those layers. You know, when he said that you're nothing but just a entrance, and a manager. And honestly, he didn't have Scarlett tonight, and the entrance was a little funky because they just kind of boom, he was there. It wasn't his regular entrance. It was just abysmal, you know.
I mean, part of me thinks that maybe this is part of the story, that he didn't have his entrance, he didn't have Scarlett. Maybe that's the whole, also we have to still, even with the booking and everything, Jeff Hardy's still a Hall of Famer. He's still a former world champion.
Absolutely.
So
100%.
If anything, I guess it makes sense that he was the one to beat him. It doesn't make sense, but it makes sense in the light that he's a Hall of Famer, former world champion, all that stuff. Maybe it's part of the story. We still have tomorrow with NXT. Maybe Adam Cole says, you just proved my point right there. You lost without an entrance, without Scarlett, without all of this. And, this could kind of lead to something. I just feel like there's a lot to, hate on it, and there's a lot for me to support it. I think I'm just kind of just trying to find the positive out of it, because that's all that you could do when it comes to Raw. And I think that if they were smart, and they're not, but if they're smart, they could go with it. They could go with the story and maybe make something out of it. You still have Samoa Joe. You still have Adam Cole. There's stuff that you could pull out of this.
I totally forgot about that. I actually, now that you said that, I totally forgot. So now you have Samoa Joe, who got choked out by somebody who got beat by Jeff Hardy.
Right.
So that's what we have, basically. So now we've made Samoa Joe look even weaker in the process.
I mean, I would have been more annoyed if Jeff beat him clean, if he hit that swanton bomb and just pinned him. But then again, it's a roll-up. So, I mean, it protects him.
And let's do away with the roll-ups. Oh, my God.
Roll-ups will never go away. It will never go
Good night,
away.
Mythical Saw. Thank you for tuning in. And
thank you for supporting me, Mythical
Yes,
Saw. Thank you very much.
Well, Anthony, what are your thoughts on the final match and the Charlotte Rhea feud?
The match itself was boring. I didn't really care for it. It was kind of more story driven than the other match,
which I actually appreciated. But yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, for Raw, I think you need that. I think Raw is always going to be more story, especially after Money in the Bank. Everything with Nikki, I'm going to call her Nikki Cross. I can't call her Nikki ASH, whatever. Everything with Nikki Cross, I didn't love it. I didn't really love Nikki Cross winning Money in the Bank to begin with. But it makes me think about where we're going with this, and, where does, Becky Lynch play into SummerSlam now? Was Becky Lynch even in the plans to begin with? Are we going to have just a triple threat at SummerSlam, which I would not really like. But I like the moment just because a cash-in is a cash-in. It was unexpected. I didn't see them doing this tonight.
Right.
But it makes sense because they're going for those 16 reigns for Charlotte. So you got to just win that title and lose that title as fast as possible.
Well, I'll tell you why I like it, because, I mean, the character's fun. Nikki's a really awesome person. And like John was talking about before you came on here, you can see the emotion in her face from last night.
Absolutely.
I mean, she's a worker. She's a great worker. Very, very nice person. So for her, I'm happy. And she's doing fine with this character.
Right. And
this character is fine for what it is.
She deserves it. We've talked so much about how great she was in NXT. She deserves it. And if she came up with this character, good on her.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. I had no problem with her cashing in tonight. That was my least problem with the show. It ended, if I wasn't so taken out by the rest of the show, I probably would have been a little happier and more excited.
Right.
Because the cash-ins are always fun. So good for her. I am happy for her. She does deserve it. She's a good worker. She's been there for a while. So I have no problems with that.
So what do you guys think the SummerSlam plans are at this point? Do you think they're gonna roll with Nikki? Do you think they're gonna do something? I
think she'll hold it till SummerSlam, because they've had her on quite a roll, winning matches all different ways.
Yeah, definitely.
So
I was
don't
confused when she was winning all these matches. I was like, there must be something for her, and I guess it makes sense with everything with Charlotte and Rhea that Nikki was like, doing those beat the clock challenges. I don't know if you guys remember that. She was winning with fluke wins. It kind of adds layers to the story a little bit with that, which I like.
Right. Yeah, I think they'd go in Charlotte, Rhea, Nikki, triple threat. Becky challenges Bianca for the SmackDown title.
Interesting.
Becky challenges Bianca, huh? Oh well, you know what? Seth is over there.
Yeah.
And you notice they quietly moved Naomi to SmackDown now that they're back on the road, so she could be with a husband and hopefully keep a leash on him.
Right.
Did I say that out loud?
Yeah. I think that's what's going to happen. I think Bianca is.
It makes sense right now.
I think she is head and shoulders to be the best female in the company, even with Charlotte there. Obviously Becky, when she comes back, she's going to be super over, back in the mix. I think that's a superstar matchup. I think that could probably even main event. I'll say it right now, main event SummerSlam. I don't think it will, but I think Roman
versus Cena is going to main
right.
event.
Yeah,
right.
I was going to say if Roman versus Cena
you're
on the card,
sorry about that.
and we
I forgot about Cena.
Yeah, if we only had Lashley and Goldberg, though, I would say literally the fucking Raw tag team titles could main event, and I would be more happy than that. Oh my goodness, I can't believe they're doing this. Like why? I could have had anyone. We could do this whole Kofi Kingston match from yesterday over again at SummerSlam, and I would be more happy than him.
What about this guy?
There's always him.
I mean, I did not like the Lashley Kofi match because he buried a former champion. They should have let him. It would have been a much better match if they let it be a competitive match.
Well, the thing is,
Kofi got to do his thing.
Me and Clark Street, Circle Debate, Top Rope, when we had that little podcast, we all knew that was coming because you just could tell.
I kind of had a feeling it was coming.
Yeah, from that last promo on Raw, it's just like you knew that was going to. I was surprised that it was as short as it was. I thought we were getting at least like 12, 15-minute match. But shit, it was like 7 minutes, I think, was the final time. It was.
But why not let Bobby Lashley have good matches where, he gets tough matches, but he still keeps coming out on top?
Yeah.
I mean, it builds him the same way.
Yeah,
and you get a better match, and the fans are more into it. If you go back to the triple threat match with Omega and Orange Cassidy and Pac, and Omega, it was a great match. Omega, kept looking like he was going to lose, but he found a way to win because he's Omega. Why not? WWE doesn't go with that. It would have made much more sense. Yeah, but you're still dominating by coming out on top. You're still on that run if you keep finding ways to beat people, even if they're the toughest competitor you have.
Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind people losing. It's not about wins and losses. It's about how you look afterwards. Okay, and like in perfect instance, what you just talked about, a Double or Nothing. Cassidy's status got elevated. He looked like he could be a world champion.
Yep.
I'm gonna go back to Karrion Kross situation. He lost to a 44-year-old man. Okay, or a 42-year-old, whatever, however he is.
Watch it.
But I mean, he lost to someone he should be in a developmental role, helping young people get younger talent over. Why did he lose?
Jeff Hardy deserves one more run, in my opinion.
Yeah,
but not over Karrion right now.
I mean that booking tonight made no sense. Yeah. But he deserves a run to go on a run and be a top star in that company because he can be.
Give him a U.S. title run. That's fine.
I would like to see him in a world title picture again. One of them.
I would. I don't know if you don't even have to give him the title. I mean, I was honestly hoping that he was going to accept Lashley's challenge tonight. I feel like that would have been a better spot for him.
That would have. And then you could add Keith Lee and Karrion. 20-minute just battle, and it would have been entertaining as hell. No matter who would have lost, that it would have been entertaining.
Yeah, imagine Keith Lee comes out tonight and he gives him a hell of a match, and you could see Lashley shaken by it, but he still comes out on top.
Right,
it builds both people.
Right
now you have you have Keith Lee next week if he's even on the show, and it's like, oh, he came back last week and he got squashed by
What could be the reason for his departure? I know like there was a lot of things talking about his name. He's trying to
He had
trademark
to
his
be
name.
injured or something. It had to be something. There was some. I don't even know if we'll ever know. I think he said he'll tell the fans. He had COVID, so I don't know if it was COVID complications.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, they said he was
so.
gone until like January. I was like, wow, it's been a minute since we've seen. My hope is that we're still getting Keith versus Sheamus, and we just give Keith the U.S. title at SummerSlam. I know they're probably going with Damian Priest.
Yeah,
I don't hate it, but like if you're gonna do this to Keith, that means like you're only like knocking him down a step to the U.S. title, which I'm not that mad about as long as he has a title. And that was the original plan. It was really just for Keith to win the title, but whatever happened with that.
Well, I mean, you could have something where he gets involved in the RK Bros storyline because Keith Lee and
where's Randy Orton then?
I think he's injured. Oh, I heard something about vacation, like now that he's getting back on the road, like he took a little time off, but it could be injury. It could be anything really.
Here's 3 things I never want to see from WWE again. Okay. Stop with the roll-up wins.
Yeah.
Just stop. We see them all the friggin' time.
It's goofy.
Stop having the same matches on TV week after week after week.
That I agree with.
And different iterations of them. Oh, we're going to make it a 6-man tag now, but it's the same thing. And what was my other thing? The 3-man tag, the same matches.
Don't kill your young stars.
Well, that too.
No Jackson Riker. That's a big one for me.
I mean, I have no problem with that guy's work lately. He's been okay, but stop. Why is he fighting Elias every single week? That strap match, that settled it. Come on.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's a blow off and we can move on.
I mean, I thought the strap match was the blow off.
Yeah.
So
you would think.
Listen, we got to see blood again, so I guess Cesaro's wasn't an accident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, Vince is feeling a little bit of pressure if he's allowing guys to bleed again. That's coming from the fans who are loving it in AEW.
Even Lashley was bleeding a little bit after that match.
Yeah, I don't think that was planned, though. But
it was a little incidental contact because he was bleeding from his ear.
Yeah, right.
But maybe we're starting to see Vince get a few cracks, and he's starting to feel the pressure. But
I don't think so.
Come on,
I don't think so.
I have said that too many times. Like I'm only fool me once, shame on me. Right. Shame on you. Fool me twice. Shame on me. Fool me 1,000 times. I'm a fucking moron. Because
You know what would be awesome is if WWE would open that forbidden door.
You're dreaming.
I know.
I mean, we did that. We did that. We did it on a debate show, and I said who was hurt the most? WWE by not participating in it.
I know. And as I was listening to it this morning, I was thinking WWE was hurting the most.
and what about like you see stars like Thunder Rosa, like how much it's helped her? I didn't know what Thunder Rosa was before she came over there, and Serena Deeb, and it's fun seeing all that stuff and seeing different people pop up all over the place. And now NWA is going to be working with Impact.
Doesn't get involved because the power struggle between them as a unit and the Khan family, it would never work out. So it's probably better off that they're not together.
I agree.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
I definitely agree with you there. Like it would never, but I don't know. Like what a man, the crowd was lit too, and they just let him down. I just can't believe the way the crowd popped for Goldberg.
I know. That's what keeps them going. Every time Goldberg comes out, except for I think the only time that I saw him genuinely booed was the SmackDown after he beat The Fiend and Roman came out. Yeah. That was the only time that I saw him genuinely booed. He gets cheered every time he comes out.
So if you think about it, why would Vince stop bringing him out?
Yeah.
Why would he? Like we sit at home and we say this, but when you have a crowd pop like they did for him tonight, for some people that makes for good TV.
Exactly.
For us, no. But like for him, for the casual,
I wouldn't even.
Oh my god! Yay!
I wouldn't even boo. I wouldn't even boo him if he came out. I would put my hands in my pocket like Orange Cassidy and be like, all right.
I think honestly, if you're going to ask me, Vince probably cares more about what's being presented on TV. And if you're in the crowd, you're part of the show. If you're cheering, he obviously wants that reaction. He doesn't care as much as, social media. Social media is probably the last of his worries right now. Sure, he probably looks at it for some inspiration or a chuckle every now and then, but like whatever's being presented on TV, that's what it is. I mean, Goldberg was cheered. We're going to get 5 weeks of Goldberg, and as long as the crowd doesn't start booing the hell out of him, that's what we're going to get, because the fan reception within the building, that's what it turns out to be.
Let me ask you guys this. Do you think next week, I don't even know why they offer Raw, but with the fans expecting Goldberg, you'll see him booed? What do you think it's going to be another pop?
Well, that's what I was about to say. They were in Dallas this week, and Dallas people are delusional because they think the Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl every year. So
hey now,
no, he'll be cheered probably more than likely. I don't know.
you're right, Chad. Did you see?
I don't know. This is on
I had it up there.
Yeah, he is. But it's not going to really matter. I mean, whether he's cheered or booed, honestly, they're just going to go on with their plan.
Yep.
And whatever that may be, like, it's not going to change anything. Whether he's cheered or booed, they have a plan in place. They're going to go with it, and they've already thought this out. Like, okay, if he's cheered or booed, we don't care. We've got fans in the seats. That's they want fans in every 18 inches.
I think it depends where they are next week. I don't know where exactly they're going to be next week. It depends a little bit.
Yeah, it does. It will, but
I like it's like it's like hearing the Undertaker tonight. If he would have came out, everyone would have cheered. You know what I mean? It wouldn't have been like, oh, the Undertaker just retired. He's 54 years old, and they're bringing him out, and the crowd would have like booed because of that. Right. It's not like that. You're not going to see what's on social media being carried over to in person. When you hear Goldberg's music, I would have popped. Like when you're in that atmosphere, I would have just, I would have seen Goldberg pop, and I would have been like, oh shit, Goldberg's here. But then reality would have set in. But they're probably going to cheer him. I think unless something happens where it's just universally they boo him, it's not going to happen.
I don't think it'll matter though. Like you said,
it won't matter. It definitely won't matter.
Like whenever he went up against the Fiend, I mean, there's been times where hasn't had favorable cheers or favorable crowd moments.
Mm-hmm.
Like when it was, I don't know, but I'm just at a loss for words, honestly.
Well, at least he only has a two match a year contract, so. After SummerSlam, we won't see him till next year.
My question is, he's lost 2 times in a row now to Braun and to Drew. Is he going to lose 3 times in a row to Bobby?
Yeah, because he's only got one more match in his contract for this year. So
that's
true. They can't go in and put this old guy over Lashley when they're building up for the Lashley versus Reigns match.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, I'm more convinced that from watching this book, and that's what they're working towards.
Maybe they'll make it a triple threat and add in Keith Lee.
Again, sounds good, but it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
We say things that make sense, and you're like, oh wait, that makes too much sense.
Honestly, right. I would actually hate that even more, to be honest with you.
Yeah, because Keith would take the L. That makes sense.
And it wouldn't be a great match. I'd rather see Keith and Lashley straight up. Even if Keith Lee would have lost at SummerSlam, I'd have been fine with that. Yeah, I would have just rather that build up. Keep Oldberg at home, and let him go coach his kids' football team, and
his shirtless kid.
Yeah,
that kid's got to be in the fucking ring every time that Goldberg comes out here. Just sit him in the back. Like, this kid is always here. Oh my god! Whenever I see this kid, I'm like, it's like 5 more weeks of winter, 5 more weeks of Goldberg. The groundhog saw his shadow. Oh my god.
That's a good one. Anthony, thank you for coming on and trying to
This was supposed to be one match.
Like you
I'm sorry, cut you off.
You made some valid points, and I wish what you said was going to happen.
Well, here's the thing. When it comes down to it, was tonight like a great show? No, when you look at it, on paper. But when you're in the moment and you're watching it, for me, I'm sitting on my couch right here watching. When Jeff Hardy wins, I jump out of my couch. When Nikki Cross won, jumped out. That hasn't happened in, I couldn't even tell you when the last time I genuinely jumped out of I was like, fuck, what the fuck? Like I couldn't tell you when the last time that happened. So I'm kind of just riding off of that momentum that like it was a fun show. Was it a great show? No, but it was entertaining and it's going to make me want to watch next week. So that's kind of where I come in and I'm bringing that kind of energy here. But you guys are right. This show was not great on paper. Karrion Kross should not have been presented like that. Goldberg should not be here, but like it's interesting. It gets me invested, and I think that's really what it comes down to for these TV shows. They just want to make you tune in next week, and they're in a prime position where they need to get fans to come back and watch. Raw needed this. Raw has been having record low ratings. They've put all their fucking eggs in one basket with this, a real shot in the arm. It felt like a Raw after WrestleMania. So, next week, maybe they'll have a pop in the rating or something. And I'm just happy that we had an interesting show. Like these last few Raws have just been click.
I mean, honestly, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I was more disconnected from this one in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah,
but
that's why I said we have that contrasting. Like we need that for co-hosts.
Let me ask you a question then, okay? Because you're a diehard fan. You love this wrestling. And you appreciate, like, you notice the things like the Hardy and the Karrion Kross. Like, we like Hardy, so we're happy he won. But the booking makes no sense.
Right. So,
for the diehard fans, and for the casual fans, they're probably going to like tonight's show.
Right.
For the people just tuning in, the people that don't live it and love it like we do. But if they give us, the diehard fans, what they want, the casual fans are still going to love it. It's not going to turn the casual fans away. So book towards the diehard fans, and the casual fans will still be there. You'll get more fans that way. If you book towards the casual fans, you're going to turn the diehard fans away.
Here's the thing with that, and I agree. Okay. Like, you think of it like, if you just present a wrestling show, there's going to be fans of wrestling. And if you present a show for the diehard fans, everyone's going to be a fan of it. What AEW is doing wrong right now is that they are not expanding their fan base and they're not expanding their product to introduce new fans. When you're putting on like 4 20-minute matches, I'm over exaggerating, but like when you're putting on multiple long matches a night, I'm a diehard fan. I've been watching however long now. I'm not sitting there and watching these long matches. I'm like, glancing every now and then to see what's going on. I'm not paying attention to these long matches. I'm waiting until the end. So when you see something like this tonight, where it was these shorter matches and, we're getting to the point, we're getting all these surprises, that's what fans are going to be interested in. So yes, the diehard fans, it's not really catered towards them, but that's just how it is. That's how wrestling's always been, unless you're, a fan of New Japan, or if you're a fan of, just New Japan, just AEW, that's like even the Attitude Era. I wasn't around for the Attitude Era, but I've seen enough to know that it was
a lot.
That it was catered towards the casual fans, though. It wasn't, compared to like whatever other wrestling was happening during the late 90s, like All Japan or whatever else. Those were, 60-minute, 40-minute long matches that were focused on the in-ring action. The Attitude Era was focused in on Crash TV, storylines, getting people invested. That's how wrestling's always been. And diehard fans, I'm sure, in the Attitude Era complained about it, and just as much as they are now. So, I mean, that's really what it comes down to. It sucks for fans who want to see just wrestling, but it's money talks at the end of the day. So, that's really what, and I think, for me at least, I think they provide enough of a balance for both wrestling diehards and casuals that it'll at least bring you back next week. That's what the TV shows are for. You saw Money in the Bank. Everything was focused more on the in-ring action. Tonight, Raw, SmackDown, it's always focused on getting you coming back next week. And it's getting you focused in on the storylines and all that stuff. So, yes, these shows are focused towards the casuals, but you look at Money in the Bank, that was more of a diehard show, if anything. That's kind of what they're leading you towards. So, I think they provide an even balance of both. But yeah, they're going to focus towards the casual fans and like hopefully the diehard fans stick around. That's really what it comes down.
All right. Now I'm going to call you out and let me finish because you're going to have plenty of time to rebut.
Okay.
But you said AEW is not doing anything to get new fans. They have great stories. They have great wrestling matches. You have guys developing organically, their own guys. You have guys cutting great promos. It's a great show every week. You now have Mark Henry going out and bringing these guys into other to like the boys club, and now he's bringing the AEW wrestlers with him. I mean, AEW is putting on a great show every week. What do you expect them to do? What do you expect them to do to like their ratings went up from the first live show to the second live show on the road?
Right.
We'll see what they do this week. They're telling stories. That's what I want. That's what people want. That's what's going to make people turn in tonight and say, "Oh, I got to come back next week because Malachi Black and Cody Rhodes just had this awesome confrontation in the ring." And so many how could like go ahead now, you go. Tell me what you think. How can AEW expand their fan base?
How can they expand their fan base? Well, I think what it comes down to is that the WWE has the history to back them. And obviously, there will always be like the Titans of wrestling or whatever. So you could always rely on those Cenas and Goldbergs to bring in the casual fans and stuff. Right. That's exactly what it is. Hardcores are on social media. Casuals fill the arena. What can AEW do? I mean, I think
other than putting on great shows like they do every week and they give you a pay-per-view that's worth the money to spend the $60 for.
I think they need to find something that, I couldn't tell you. I think they are
they're doing everything right.
They're doing things right. But I just feel like they're not doing something that it's holding them back from, you look at AEW, that's a show that should be getting SmackDown numbers.
No, I disagree because SmackDown's on Fox.
Well,
Fox is a broadcast channel.
Well, not taking into account, TNT or whatever. I'm saying the product itself deserves SmackDown numbers, right? You saw Fighter Fest, Road Rage.
If it's on Fox. Yeah.
So I think they're missing something that, is just not putting them over the edge. And it needs to be something that's, I couldn't tell you. Like, could you say right now that AEW is like a viable threat to the WWE to overtake them as a company?
No, absolutely.
No, obviously not, because WWE is a global empire. So I'm not crazy. But what is the rating difference between Dynamite and Raw?
It's not that much. It's
not that far off anymore. It's not that far off. And if AEW keeps putting on knee shows and Raw keeps putting on knee shows, sooner or later, Dynamite's going to pass Raw.
And I'll tell you what's going to yeah, because here's the thing. Dynamite, they're putting over their young talent. Let's go back to the Attitude Era. We were talking about the Attitude Era, okay? What is one reason why WCW folded? Okay, they brought in Hogan, Savage, which a huge Savage mark. Okay, everybody knows that. Hogan, Savage, Nash, Hall, had Sting, Luger. Okay, these old guys. They never really brought anybody up. Who did they bring up? Goldberg, Big Whoop, Diamond Dallas Page. Good. Okay, who did WWE bring up? Your Jeff Hardys, Edge, Christian, Mark Henry, Goldust. I mean, he was floundering. Kurt Angle. I mean, the list can go on and on and on. I mean, that's right now when you have. It's similar to how WCW was. Now you have your Jeff Hardys, your John Cenas, your which I don't mind John Cena being in the program. Don't get me wrong, but you have your Jeff Hardys, your John Cena's.
I'm just going to leave that there.
Roman Reigns. There you go. Not Roman Reigns. You got your John Cena's, your Jeff Hardys, your Bobby Lashley's. These are all guys that have been in the business for 15 plus years. Mm-hmm. They're, one foot out the door for the most part. Okay.
Right.
Carry
There's
you,
a difference.
you buried Karrion Cross tonight. I'm gonna keep saying it. I know. You buried Keith Lee. Okay. You got
They didn't bury
absolutely.
Keith. Come on.
Yes, absolutely.
You don't think they buried Keith Lee tonight?
Not at all. Not at
Absolutely.
all.
I was in
Absolutely.
group chats and everybody was talking about how they buried him.
Absolutely, they buried him. He hasn't been back in 7 months. He should have won that match.
He
And I'm not
didn't
a big.
even- he should have put on a super competitive match. He didn't
right,
even need
you're
to
right.
win it.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
Get a couple
Should've-
near falls at least to something.
Take that Alexa crap out. Give that time back to that match. Take the Sheamus and Humberto match out. Give that time back to that match.
Mhm.
Make that a 3-segment match. That's what that should have been. It
Maybe
was
I
at
was
the,
looking at it through like rose-colored glasses, but I remember it being, even though it was short, I remember it being competitive. I couldn't tell you.
It wasn't very
There was a lot of stuff from Keith. I would have to go back and watch it, but
there was a
sworn that it
few moves by
competitive.
Keith Lee, but I wouldn't have called it very competitive. In the beginning, it's like, oh, this is going to be competitive,
Right.
and then it wasn't.
right.
That's
It's the
how it
exact
felt
same
to
thing.
me.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, we
You
forgot
know-
about a young guy named The Rock during the Attitude Era. Too.
Oh yeah, my bad.
But look, here's the thing: AEW, you got Darby Allin, you've got Adam Page. Like they have a mix of the youngsters with the veterans.
Darby, Orange,
Ethan Page.
So
Ethan
here's
Page.
here's what I'll say as far as this whole topic of AEW, and it's that they're still young, so it's tough to really say. They've only been around for what now, 2-3 years at
Not
most.
to be 3.
AEW is going on 2 years for Dynamite and 2.
No, Dynamite, yeah, Dynamite.
Right, 2 years. So if they really want to, prove that they're this big and I know that they are. I know that they're the future of wrestling. It's like it's set in stone with how they're building up their talent and stuff. But the thing is that you need to go all in, pun intended. You need to go all in on your young talent.
They are.
Your Jungle Boys.
Yes,
I couldn't tell you that they're really going all in on them.
Yes, because he just had a championship match 3 weeks ago.
and he's
I know,
got
it was
the
a
first and
fantastic
50 wins in the
championship match.
entire company.
Yeah, and also don't forget about this. Okay, Dynamite started October 2019. Okay,
Mhm.
what happened in March of 2020? The whole world shut
Right.
down.
That's true.
Okay,
I will
so they
say
had
that they have-
four.
they've
They had
been
4 or
doing
5
a lot better.
months.
When you look at AEW, like, a few months ago back then, they weren't really doing a lot to really push those young. I will say now, you're right. Jungle Boy, they're doing all the stuff with Adam Page. Britt Baker's been a star in the women's division. So yes, they are doing a lot, but as long as they are on that path to continue it, then they should be completely fine. They also have to start, as long as you really focus in on that future, they should be fine. I feel like they need something else to really put them over the edge, and I just don't know what that is yet. But
I think Chris Jericho is doing what Hollywood Hogan or Hulk Hogan should have done for WCW. He's putting up young talent. He is building them up, and at the same time, it's not hurting his legacy. He may catch a few L's or whatever, in the process. But he is doing exactly what Hogan should have done for WCW. If Hogan would have done what Jericho's doing, we possibly could still have WCW today. Possibly.
It wasn't just Hogan, though. It was Nash and Hall.
Right, Nash Hall. Right, exactly.
It was all of them not wanting to put any young people over.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I mean, you had Chris Jericho in that company. You had a Rey Mysterio, you had Dean Malenko, Eddie Guerrero. I mean, the talent, and they all left. They left.
This is what I'm going to say. Like, if Vince McMahon said that Blood and Guts set back pro wrestling for 20 years, what does he think he's doing with Raw?
Yeah,
like really, like Blood and Guts was a phenomenal match.
Mm-hmm.
AEW, like I love AEW, but they're still learning along the way. Like
right,
Jericho fall, they didn't do the camera angle right, and people can't wait to jump on them when there's something to nitpick,
right?
Because they do so much other stuff right.
Yeah, that's why I'm hesitant to say that, like, everything with like AEW putting on, they're doing. You guys are right; they are doing a lot of things right. But they just need to find that one thing that is going to put them over the edge. They can't do, what's already been done. And they are finding that it could be him. It could be someone that just, puts them as this is more interesting than the WWE right now. And you need to get those casual fans to come in and see that. As long as you're doing that and you're pushing your young talent, Adam Page, Jungle Boy, Britt Baker, all those names that I said, Powerhouse Hobbs, as long as you are putting them on the fast track, then you should be completely fine. And now you should just be focusing on finding that one thing or that something that will truly bring in the casual fans. Your diehards are your diehards. They're going to stay. They love AEW. They're social media fans. They're going to stay on that path. But what is it that you are doing different that the casual fans are caring about? Once you find what that is and you implement it into your product and you make it one of your priorities on, like, when you watch AEW, this is what you're going to be seeing. As long as you find that thing and you run home with it for as long as AEW is going to be on television, that is what's going to bring in casual diehard and make AEW interesting. It's already interesting. Diehard fans know it, but what's going to bring in the rest of the fans? That's what it comes down to.
Are casual fans like going out and buying stuff? You know, are they? Okay, so today, for instance,
how can they when you can't find any of the AEW stuff in the store?
For instance, today Mattel just released this awesome, playset thing, arena set. It's pretty hefty. It's a $250 price tag.
Mm-hmm.
Are casual fans going to go out and buy that? Absolutely not.
Nope.
No. Are they going to buy those figures that are behind OG's wall? They might buy some, but not as much as
you can't find WWE figures in stores either.
Yeah.
You go to Walmart and a Target, you might see 6 Bobby the Brain Heenan weasels sitting on there.
But I just, are they going to buy T-shirts? No.
Well, I think the merch argument comes into a different story. I'm talking really just about TV ratings.
You just keep doing what they're doing. You let them start sending their guys to the boys club, into other organizations, and meeting these little kids. And the little kids are going to look to find them on TV, and that's going to spread.
Absolutely.
They'll start getting articles in magazines and online and shit about that type of stuff they're doing.
Like, they're going to do
helping
it. As far as I'm watching AEW right now, they're going to be like, neck and neck with the WWE, as long as they just keep at what they're doing and find that one thing that sets them over the edge. That's really what it comes down to. They have the talent, they have the stories, they have all of this, but now you need to expand.
The only thing I want to see them do is keep it true to pro wrestling like they have been.
Right.
Like WWE's turn more to entertainment. Let AEW be my pro wrestling company.
But also, you shouldn't feel nervous to dip into entertainment when it works. I feel like WWE does it all the time, and it's very hit or miss. But it's like something like Riddle, like that works. Something like Alexa's Playground doesn't work all the time.
You're cutting out, Anthony.
What's that?
I can hear you. You're gone. Your voice is gone.
Hold on.
There you go.
Oh, you can hear me now?
Yeah.
Now we can hear you.
Sorry about that. I was saying, like something like Riddle works, gets entertainment. Something like Alexa's Playground doesn't really work all the time. So AEW needs to find that balance where it's like, it works. You can because entertainment also brings in the casual fan. It is what it is. Yeah. So you need to find that even balance.
Just keep doing good promos, keep doing good stories, and then keep doing more. And hope sooner or later it'll get out there. You got Cody on the Big Show on the TNT. Keep getting their guys to do appearances, and people will start looking for them. Now they got faces like the Big Show. That'll get people when they see Big Show do something. Big Show. Paul White, AEW star now, and they're doing everything right, and they're not rushing it. They're letting it happen organically. And I just hope they keep doing it the way they are. And I don't see Tony Khan. Something Vince doesn't do is he listens to fans.
Right.
He said they were going to be so sports based and ratings based, and they've changed that up some. They still have it, but they've listened. They're smart. So
you need to change it to evolve. And I love what you said, that it's they're going very slow, but at the same time, in the amount of stuff that they've done in these last 2 years, if they just keep at it, they're going to be unstoppable. I know that AEW is going to be the future of wrestling. Like, it's just set in stone at this point. It's just, as long as
I wouldn't say that.
Up, I will say it. I mean, as long as you don't mess up somewhere, the sky's the limit, honestly. It'll be them and WWE.
I mean, I would love it. Don't get me wrong, but it's like I just came up with a new formula for a soda, and I'm going up against Coca-Cola.
Yeah, yeah, you're
You
right.
know,
Listen, we
so
saw, from the first week on a road to last week, Dynamite went up in the ratings. So I look forward to see what they do. I don't think there's any doubt we're going to see Raw have a jump in the ratings this week because we knew Cena was going to be on. I wonder how much the jump is actually going to be. I'm curious to see that. How long people stuck around, and more
Right.
importantly, what are the ratings going to be next week for Raw?
well, and another point is it's going to be interesting to see what happens on SmackDown too. You know how they carry fans over. Now they've had a week. Okay, SmackDown was pretty good last week. Money in the Bank was pretty good. Raw was abysmal. Let's see what happens when do they
Well,
bring people back?
SmackDown should just stick to the formula they did last week. They had an awesome long. They have a couple of longer matches. They
Mhm.
don't rush to things. The storytelling's a little better.
Yeah.
SmackDown, you
You know.
never have to worry about because they're always going to give you at least a solid show. I think as long as they keep doing what they're doing, they're going to be fine. Raw, that's going to take a little bit more to, Raw needed a show like this tonight if they wanted to increase the viewers. And there's going to be a rating, maybe a little spike, but you don't need that for SmackDown. SmackDown's fine where it is. It's on Fox. It has your 2 million viewers. You bring in Cena, that's only going to increase it.
I know you keep saying that, but tonight's Raw makes me want to tune out, not tune in.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's going to. I can't wait to see what the ratings do. I want to see the hourly breakdown of this week. So I'm just curious. Anthony, thank you for joining us and jumping on when you saw us
Thank you
chatting.
for having me. I'm glad you didn't tear me up on this show.
No, I mean you bring a different perspective, and we like that. I want to hear. I wanted to hear why you liked it. I honestly did. Tell the people where they can find you, Anthony. Give yourself a cheap plug since you crashed our show.
I'll cheap plug myself real quick if you don't mind. You can find me. You can find me at the Titantron podcast on Instagram, as well as at _Titantron on Twitter. I am currently in the process of doing a lot of different stuff, including daily podcast episodes, which I don't know how the fuck I'm doing that. But 8:30 a.m. 8:30 every morning. I do a 10 to 15 minute episode. Tomorrow is going to be an interesting one. Clearly, but it's going to be a positive one if you were interested in Raw tonight. What else? You could find those on Spotify and Apple Podcast, and even the YouTube format where you get to see this lovely face. You get to also download the Bench Sports app if you're on iOS, Apple. It is a live 24/7 sports radio app. I am on at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Fridays, where it's Titantron Live. We talk about wrestling throughout the week. And you can go ahead and DM me if you are interested in the WPC 50 wrestling podcast community.
Oh, yes.
Top 50 wrestlers of all time. DM me and we'll get you involved. All you have to do is send me your top 10 wrestlers of all time. And I'm looking forward to where this project is going to lead me. But that's about it for me. And I hope you turn your attention to the Titantron.
And you can see Anthony every Friday night after SmackDown goes off.
You are very true.
Here on the SmackDown recap show. He's a good guy.
Your mama's favorite duo, always after SmackDown. There you go. That's the app right there.
Download it right now, baby.
Yeah, and you got to figure out how to have me on as a guest. I would come talk with you some more.
Yes, I will figure. I'm still trying. I think I'm close to figuring it out. So I'm almost there. But guests, Tom, don't worry. You will be the first one with your lovely personality and charming looks. You will be on this episode. Don't you worry.
Buttering me up now. J-Bone, plug yourself. Tell them where they can find you.
Well, you can find me on the Instagram machine at Coming Down the Aisle on Instagram. Twitter, down_aisle every Wednesday night, right after AEW. Give or take about an hour or so after AEW. The podcast it gets aired. And once a month, you can hear the list. Next month, I think we're going to be doing the top 10 pro wrestlers that never won a world championship.
Ooh.
So we'll be tuning into that this past month. You can still tune into that. It's top 10 factions. Of course, you got the OG Fit Kid, that the Ultimate Miles, and everything in between. We've got this week our guest is Mike Belcaster, friend of the Turnbuckle Tavern.
Nice.
And we're gonna be watching CM Punk versus John Cena, Money in the Bank, 2011.
Fun.
Awesome. So to close out this show, Anthony, you go first. How many stars are you giving tonight's show?
Oh no. I don't know if you want to start me off.
You're top of the lineup, baby.
Oh shit. I'll give it. Okay, look, the last like hour I loved, so that's gonna carry up the rating a little bit. The rest of the show kind of brought it down, so I'll give it a out of 5 stars. We're always doing it out of 5 stars. I will give it a solid 2.25 or 2.5.
All
So
right,
right in the middle.
J-Bone.
You know, we give it 1 star.
We agree, J-Bone. I'm giving it a 1 star too. Exactly where I was going with it.
The title
lowest
change.
rating I've given out since we've started.
The title change gave me that 1 star.
Guys, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram, the OG Fig Kid, the Turnbuckle Tavern here on YouTube. You're watching it. Click the little bell, subscribe so you get notified when we go live. Check out our Twitter and Instagram. All of our links are listed on theturnbuckletavern.com. Thank you all for joining us. We'll see you again next week. Until then, peace.